Hey everyone, it's me, Kirk Mastin, with another episode of What Makes This Photo Great. And today we're going to be talking about body language and how that can make your photo great. I've got a bunch of photos here from our fantastic Mastin Labs community. I'll be going through them with my little magic tool here to show you what I'm thinking for every photo. And hopefully you're going to come away with a lot of new information and a lot of new knowledge to make your photography even better than before. So let's kick it off with Andras Schramm's fantastic portrait here of, I think, a family. At first I thought maybe it was a band, but I love it. This is edited with Ep.6, which is a black and white preset from the Artisan black and white pack that we make. It's one of my favorites. It's very versatile, looks good all the way around. And what I like about this photo, what really makes it pop for me, is the body language. So I want to kick off with this. Andras has used a very traditional and classic method of posing people in this photo. He's using two different stools here. So you can see this guy sitting on a stool here. And he is sitting on this chair, and he's even got like an apple crate box in the back that this gentleman here is posing his foot on. I'll draw a little foot right there. His other foot's down here. These tools, including the window, allow Andras to pose everybody in a very interesting way. And he's also doing another thing that I think is really, really cool, which is he is connecting everyone physically in the photo. So we've got elbows on shoulders right here. We've got these two touching right here. And this creates this really nice connection all the way through the photo. There are a few photographers that I know in particular that do things like this. One of them you may have heard of is Annie Leibovitz. I'm going to only assume that Andras is influenced by Leibovitz. But what she does with a lot of her photos when she has a large group is that she poses them at different heights with beautiful light in a way where they're all either touching each other or related to their shapes are relating to each other in some way in the frame to create this visual interest. And this really nice side lighting from this window increases that. It's really, really nice. There's a lot of contrast here in their faces because of the side lighting. Somehow Andras also has some kind of catch light, some other light coming in from this side. I'm not sure how, but you can see it in their eyes. There's like a little sparkle in their eyes. So I'm assuming that Andras has got some kind of V-flat, which is like a big white panel or something on this side, bouncing a little bit of fill light back at them from this window. But it's really the connection between everybody in the photo that makes it, and it's just a classical look. It never goes out of style, and I absolutely love it. So fantastic job, Andras. Great job. Please keep making work like this. I love it. Okay, so on this photo by Bethany Allen, this is shot and edited with Ektar 100 from the Adventure Everyday pack. It's one of our most popular looks of all time. And it comes down to the wonderful color that it gives you. This kind of color, micro contrast, really nice definition. It's one of my favorite films that we've ever emulated. And I've seen a lot of people using it for portraits, which is fantastic. So as far as like body language goes in this photo, you're not really seeing much of a body, but you are getting body language in a way through the eyes and the position of the chin. By coming in at the side of this person, we're getting this kind of nice, my eye goes this way. It goes kind of from her earring, down her chin, up to her face, and then to her eye. I'm kind of going in this circular pattern when I look at this photo. And her head tilted just a little bit to the side with her eyes looking out under this little flap of hair here creates a really, really nice sense of depth. I don't know where she is. You can't see the background. It's a nice clean background, and it looks like it's lit by window light. If I was to zoom in on her eye, I can almost see it. I can almost see the window that she is in front of. So maybe it's in a penthouse or something like that, but we've got a really nice big light source that's projecting this beautiful wraparound soft lighting on her face, and it really works. This is a very, very tight portrait, but the composition and the body language is great. She's got kind of an inquisitive look, and that again comes from the positioning of her head sideways and down, with her eyes kind of turned out to the side, and very, very relaxed, and this is very important, very relaxed eyelids. that is the difference for me between like a good portrait and an excellent portrait, is the attention held in the eyes and how relaxed it is. So the photographer has made this person very comfortable. Maybe they're even kind of acting out a scene or something where, you know, she's looking for her, I don't know, her lover or something over a wall or through a window or something, but you have that kind of far away look with her eyes, and it's captivating. So I love it. Okay, moving on. Whoops. So this comes from community member Colby Moore. He is super highly active in the group, always posting really good stuff. If you go into the Mastin Labs photography group on Facebook, you will definitely see his work. He is often in Yosemite, and it looks like this is probably in Yosemite as well. What I love about this photo, kind of right off the bat, is the simplicity in it, but also the lighting. The lighting is amazing. And in particular, this backlighting, this sunset that is happening right at their mouth. It's kind of like happening all right in here. And it draws your eyes in to this brightest spot of a photo. So the brightest point in a photo and the darkest point in the photo is where your eye is going to go first. You're looking for contrast. It's just kind of how people are. We've got a little bit of both in here. His suit is very dark, but it's this bright light right where they're about to kiss that draws your eyes in to that really beautiful golden shape right here between their lips. And that is so interesting because I'm not having to connect with their eyes. That's usually where you kind of connect with someone in a photo, is through the eyes. Their eyes are closed, but I'm connecting through this emotion that I'm seeing right here, framed by this, kind of beautiful sunset. Now, beyond that part, I think the moment right before a kiss is the most interesting moment. Not when their lips are all like kind of smashed up against each other or whatever. It's that split second right before. So this is my favorite moment of a kiss, which would otherwise be kind of cliche if they're actually full on kissing. It's that little moment right before, and Colby did an excellent job by putting that golden light right in that mouth area so it's even more defined. So excellent work, great job. You've also got a few other elements that really work here. He's leaning into her with his hand on her waist. She is leaning back a little bit with her head, but her body is leaning forward, definitely. And two bodies leaning into each other really just subconsciously shows that they care about each other. Sometimes when I was shooting a lot of weddings, I would see someone going in for a kiss and the other person is like leaning back, like, get me out of here, but they kiss anyway. You can totally see it in their body language, and Colby does not have that problem with this photo, so great photo. Okay, moving on down the line, got another photo here by Dana Walton. This was edited with Fuji 400H from the Fuji original pack. It's a nice and neutral film, kind of pastel, lighter colors, low contrast. It works well for this image. The only part of this image that's really colorful is her shirt, which is red. It's the dominant color, and that's good because it kind of draws your eyes right into what she's doing with the puzzles here. Now, immediately after that, I've noticed that this cat is mimicking her. So we've got this repetition of these arms out over the table. And then look at this. Here's a third one. And it's these repetition of arms all reaching across the table that makes this photo really, really cool for me. I mean, it's already interesting that it's shot straight down, like a flat lay. It kind of compresses the scene and makes it almost look illustrated. But it's those arms all doing the same thing simultaneously that really, really make this picture special for me. So I love it. Love the little puzzle pieces on the ground. That's a great detail. You can see that she put a lot of thought into styling this photo, and it pays off. It's really, really good. All right, that's the body language and cat language in this photo. All right, moving down the line, we've got this wonderful photo by John Mark Sebastian. This is edited with XR 100, like this one that Colby did. And that's also from the Adventure Everyday pack. It's my favorite pack too. A lot of people are just hooked on it. But that's because it has great color and great, 3D dimensionality to it. So why is this photo great? There's two things that just stand out to me immediately about it. One is that we've got this like layer of snow happening in front of them. And that really adds a lot of depth. I don't know how this person did it. I think they probably shot with a very large, long lens to compress the image so you can see all the snowflakes. If it was with a wide angle lens, you would not be able to see them. It would be impossible. But that really catches my eye, adds a lot of texture and detail to the photo. Okay, secondly, body language. Look at how excited he is to kiss her. I mean, he's like pulling her in to his face. She looks like she's totally into it too. She's almost smiling a little bit in this photo. And you can see they've got this great connection with these kind of double arm wraps around each other. Now, in this photo, though, you can see she is like really leaning back, unlike this photo up here. However, I think it works because of that little bit of a smirk in her face, and you can just see the energy between the two people. So I love this photo. It's great. Okay, moving on. We've got this photo by Justin Williams. I'm going to assume this is for Mardi Gras down in New Orleans. We've got the, oh gosh, I don't remember what these are called, but there's like different groups of people, different families down there that participate in Mardi Gras, and they've got like their own colors, their own designs, and it's kind of a very special honor to be part of one of these groups. And I just love the detail of that in this photo. So where's the body language here? What body language am I seeing here that makes this photo work? Well, what I love about it is this boy playing the trombone. He is like reaching directly like out to you as the viewer, and he's looking at you. His face is looking right at you, and the trombone arm, I hope this is a trombone. I don't know my instruments. This brass instrument, that's really cool. He's kind of breaking the fourth wall. He's like coming out at you, engaging the photographer, and I love that. You can almost hear the music that he's playing. This little girl here, she's kind of like spacing out a little bit. It's fine. But I don't get the same connection from her as I do from this boy here. And that's my favorite part of the photo. And that's how that body language kind of coming towards the viewer makes it really good for me. On a totally different note, color-wise, it's really nice. We've got mostly neutrals in this photo. So everything is pretty neutral outside of this feathery costume here and then the boy's shirt. And I mean, their skin tones too kind of pop out, I guess, like because they're warmer. But everything else is kind of like this blue or gray or tan. And that two color scheme where you've got a really warm dominant color and then a cooler secondary color add a lot of visual interest to this as well. The one thing that my eye kind of keeps going to, though, that I don't know how I feel about is this design right here on the costume. And since it's out of focus and I can't really tell what it is, it's honestly like a little bit distracting. So I guess if I was this photographer, I might, and I don't hardly ever do this, I might take like a desaturation brush and just desaturate this just a tiny bit so I'm not looking at whatever's happening here. I don't know, it's like two people chopping down a tree or something. I don't know, but I want to look at this guy, this kid. That's really interesting. So, all right, let's move on down the line. Man, talk about like a magazine cover photo. This is by Laura McDonald. This is edited with Fuji 160 NS from the Fuji original pack. Great choice. It's very subtle. It's a film and a preset made from a film that is very focused on beautiful skin tone, low grain, and just kind of low contrast in general. And it really, really makes an image like this pop. I love the definition in the rocks by having just that slight little bit of contrast. But their skin tones, as you can see, are just perfectly like smooth, luminous, and looking really good. Body language wise, okay, let's talk about body language here. Kind of like Andres's first picture of all the guys in black and white kind of hanging out in front of that window. You can see that the photographer has them, or maybe they did this on their own. I mean, they're in love. They're holding hands. And this little point of connection here is really, really important. And it's mirrored also in their gaze, like the way that they're looking at each other. So we've got these 2 points of connection that anchor the middle of the photo. And that makes it really, really strong to me. I love that. Her hand is just kind of dangling off over here. Sometimes it's hard to know what to do with that extra hand. He's got his hand in his pocket. That's perfect. Her hand is just kind of chilling over here. I mean, maybe if she was like holding the edge of her dress, it would kind of give this hand a purpose, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's not like in this completely bizarre shape. It's just kind of hanging out there. But I love this photo. It's got really nice depth. The color palette is great. Again, it's the warm and cool, contrast that we had up in the photo with the trumpet player or trombone player, and it's mirrored in here, and it just looks like a magazine cover. So well done, well done. Okay, so for our last photo, this is by Sydney Emma Crane. This is edited with the Ektar 100 preset that we've emulated from Ektar Film. It's in the Adventure Everyday pack, and I'm starting to see a theme here today with these photos. Again, we've got the warm and then cool color palette happening. So they're warm, and the background is relatively cool. And by having kind of like this cool background all the way around them, they're anchored right in the middle with this warmth, and in particular right here, this skin tone. So I love that. Ektar really emphasizes warm and cool colors. And yeah, it just works in this. Okay, beyond that, let's talk about body language. What is really interesting about this photo is that in general, I usually don't like people to look outside of the frame because I'm automatically wondering, what are they looking at? So it's kind of distracting almost. She's also looking out of the frame over here, so they're both like looking out of the frame. There was this trend in wedding photography for a while for people to like hold hands and like look in opposite directions, and I absolutely hated that because it felt like they don't love each other. You know, it's like opposite of connection. I don't know what that vibe is about, but I don't get that from this photo, and I'll tell you why. I don't get it because they're also connecting right here. She's clearly got her hands around his neck and, you know, is kind of like holding on to him. And her chest is pushed up against the back of his head, and they obviously love each other, or they have some kind of closeness to each other from just this little detail here. So their bodies are close. The way they're looking is far away, but it kind of works. And the way that his foot is kind of cocked up like this, kind of in a, I don't know, almost in a offhand way, like a funny way, makes me think that at the moment this photo was taken, they were kind of just goofing around, and they're not taking themselves too seriously. So I like it. It's like cool, sophisticated. It's very, very polished, and you know, it's a very polished photo. So I like it. These lines going through kind of the middle of the rule of thirds, they miss them entirely. However, they're reinforced. The main lines, if you were to use a rule of thirds composition, they do bisect the background in a really nice way, and they force your eyes to stay in this little band of information in the middle. So I dig that. That's cool. Sometimes you got to break a rule to make it even better, and they put, you know, this photographer put them right in the center. So very, very good. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this critique of body language and how that can affect your photos. The main takeaway here is this: it's much more interesting to have people connect in a photo in some way like touch each other or hold hands or find some kind of connection, either between physical connection or by looking at each other. Where your subject's eyes are and where their hands are and what the hands are doing really can have a huge impact on your photo. And don't ever forget, even if it's a photo of one person, they can be interacting with the photographer, and you can make a point of connection there. So hopefully you can take those tips, use them for your photography, and yeah, take it to the next level. So if you enjoyed this, see all the other episodes of What Makes This Photo Great. Each one's got a little bit different theme. And yeah, I hope this makes your photography even better in this new year.